Question I often ask myself. Are you having dinner at night if you're alone, or is dinner something you invite people to?
Mm. I guess it's the frame of mind that you put that into. Do you have dinner just to eat and have nourishment, or do you turn it into a ritual of some sort of satisfaction?
It's been so long since I've had dinner with somebody, so I
Mm.
don't really know anymore.
Mm.
I like the company, like to sit and take my time eating, but when you're alone, taking your time eating is sort of boring.
Yeah, I
And the
guess
food,
it's
food
yeah,
gets cold.
who gets cold. I guess it's also the companionship, right? Because when you're alone all the time, and there's things that you used to do, I'm gonna say in past life, in that past life being like 5 or 10 years ago that you really enjoyed, maybe going out for a coffee with a friend or out to dinner as an example
Mhm.
too, once a month even, and you don't have that. You kind of yearn for that companionship just to go with anybody, but not just anybody, but somebody that you could enjoy your time with. And there's no strings attached, just that you're both there for companionship, just to have light conversation, intelligent conversation. And so it's a win-win for each of you.
Yep. That's why I really enjoy these talks. And even if we don't talk, it's having the companionship in silence.
Hmm. Yes, and that's what Joe was kind of referring to. He likes being part of the group to do his silence.
Yep. Often when I do silence alone, the ego will start talking. It's actually only when I'm in trying or not trying, doing meditation or what, then the ego is absolutely there.
Yeah,
If I'm
because it's
walking,
saying,
it's totally
yeah, what?
silent.
Because the ego's saying, what are you doing? We want you to do something different. That's where you talk to yourself and tell the ego just to hold off a little bit, to be silent for a little bit. Train it.
It's the only place it actually talks when I'm just doing nothing. It'll be silent, but as
Mhm.
soon as I close my eyes and try to focus on my breath, it'll be there. Are you sure you're breathing at the right pace? Are you sure you're sitting correctly? Are you sure? Are you sure?
And Heinz, do you say back to it, yes, I am sure, so please leave me alone for a little bit? And the ego
Nice.
goes, what? You're telling me something to do? And you say, absolutely, I need you to be quiet now. And the ego will go, okay.
Hmm. Well, I don't talk to it very often, so I don't think it's the only time it's actually awake. That's when I try to focus on something higher.
Mm-hmm. I talk to my ego a lot.
I have a lot of self-talk, but it isn't about ego, it's about the present.
Mm-hmm.
No judgment, no nothing, just wow, look at the trees, look at how they are moving. And when people are talking to me, I sort of make it echo in there, so I'm pretty sure what they're talking about. I repeat it inside. It's like,
Mm-hmm. So you're just confirming the communication that you've heard.
yep,
I guess that what that would do is it would slow down your responses to them too, because then you've actually not just heard them, but you've listened to them too. And then it would
mm,
slow down your thought process and how to respond to them as opposed to being reactive. You're basing it on what was actually said.
yep.
That's a really good technique.
But I remember when the ego was talking, oh my God, the things it would say, interfering in everybody's life but my own. Very distracted in a way.
Yeah, we don't sometimes realize how much our ego takes over. And it once it finds something it likes or it feels safe, it wants to repeat it. Is Jesse here this morning?
He's lying in bed.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning.
Oh, okay. Good morning, Jesse.
I'm here for now anyway. It's a late night at
Mhm.
son's prom. Yeah, so, but yeah,
Did he have-
glad to be here. Good morning, Annette, Joe, Hines.
Did it go well at
Thank you.
prom for him?
Yeah, they did. We went to the ice cream shop afterwards and was there for 2 hours waiting for ice cream. So
Whoa.
Oh.
Hours waiting for ice cream. It must have melted by then.
they got to deliver it before it melts. So
Oh,
it was just busy.
that's practicing patience,
Oh, tell me about it. Yes, it was.
especially when you're with a kid. Are they coming? Can you call them back?
Yeah, they were there at 10. It was just the place was just that busy, and then everyone came. Yeah, so you just 3 hours later than I normally stay out, and yeah, so but it was good. It was fine.
And I bet your
So
son appreciated it a lot.
yeah, he was fine with it that they sat at a table, and it just happened to be we sat at a table next to
Mhm.
him. But yes, I was surprised at how many people eat ice cream at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. Sure doesn't sit well with me. We're not talking one scoop of ice cream.
Mm.
Yes, the question is, was it worth it?
It's a great question. We'll never know, will we?
Did it taste great?
Oh, it did. First time.
First time you had more than one.
No, I can still feel it churning in the stomach this morning.
Oh,
It's just too late to eat for me.
and a lot of
Mm.
sugar at that time
Mhm.
of night too, before bed.
Yes. And I'm not
Yeah.
used to that.
Mm-hmm.
but to be there and so they went to a country club beforehand. Although they got in, security wouldn't let us in. So we just, well, let us just go in and turn around. And so we turned around and dropped him off. Mom didn't get out. She should have, because she melted that she couldn't get a picture. So, but then we met them at where they were eating and got to see her and him. And then we got to be there afterwards. So, yeah, I don't know. Don't know if it was worth it.
Well, you got to experience one of your son's firsts. You got to experience him at his first prom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really is second now.
Oh, it's his second? Okay.
Yeah.
My bad. My bad.
That's all right. It's still a different one, and I would say it's, better to, yes, I would say better. It's worth it. Yes. Otherwise I wouldn't have went. I would have stayed home. But in the moment I chose that was going to be more important than just staying home. So it falls into that support bucket, just to know I'm here, I'm interested, I care.
And you can add to the list, and I showed up.
That's right.
And you're teaching him by being a good example yourself. Teaching him family matters.
Quite the observation of observing control. Good morning, Craig.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, right on. We got a net on here. Woo!
Good morning, Craig.
Yeah, sorry I'm a little bit late. Dealing with kind of a flood again.
It's the second time you're there that's flooded.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy.
And wasn't it a totally new building?
Yeah, it is. It's a brand new building. But sometimes when it rains here, you get over 2 inches of rain in a 12-hour period. So it's kind of like it doesn't have anywhere to go.
I seen a crazy thing on the internet recently about bells and how they used to be like massive, huge bells, and then like after World War II, they all mysteriously got like a big crack in them, so they couldn't be rung. but the when they used to ring the bells, that used to be like, what I'm taking from it is like that used to be the healthcare for society.
Yeah, anything deemed important or significant for society was told by bells. So somebody dies, somebody's born, somebody gets married, those kinds of things. Go to mass.
But like the organs, that does something, and then like the bells when it comes through the church. Well, when the church took it over the building.
Yeah.
But like what this is saying is these buildings were actually like massive energy stations, like for free energy. And they're saying that after the 1920s, ether was took out the periodic table, so it would be classed as like woo-woo. But all the books before 1920, they talked about it, but all the books afterward, oh man, yo, crazy.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Because ether had a huge effect, but you couldn't see it.
But is that true? Ether's not in the periodic table?
You're right, it used to be. I don't think it is anymore.
Well, that's a bit strange, isn't it?
Yeah, because well, it's a compound. It's not a base. It's not a base element.
Greetings, Ebony. Welcome.
Good morning, Ebony.
Greetings.
What words are we holding today? Which ones have we heard and triggered, engaged with? Observed.
I'd really love to explore believing with Annette and Ebony.
Believing.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Believing. He said believing. Birth leaving. Leaving, as if leaving has got believing in it. Believing's got leaving in it.
Believing.
Yeah, when Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, presents it, he divides the word up and there's the word LIE in the middle of it. And he implies that your beliefs are actually made up.
Interesting, because when Jesse asked about a word for today, about some of the stuff we've heard, what came to me was, there's actually a couple words put together, but talking to your ego, because we've been speaking about our ego this morning. So mine would be talking to your ego.
Or your self-conscious self.
No, interesting. Be lie Eve is what believe is. So be lie Eve. Yeah. It's always the women's fault. So
Yeah.
there you go.
It comes before the lie.
Just kidding, ladies.
I'm actually laughing over here, but I'm on mute.
That's like Christmas Eve and Christmas Adam.
Hmm.
2 days before.
Instead of believe, be Adam.
Yeah, yeah.
And that following on the ego is a couple of things that I've heard distraction a couple of times.
I'm just seeing this picture where all of our beliefs get all tangled up with each other.
So I've just actually looked up the word believe, and the verb is to accept something as true, feel sure of the truth of. So it's not concrete, because it's basically the first part of the definition says to accept something as true.
Which kind of makes sense because we all probably have a different perception of what is truth, yeah? And like my belief is going to be different to somebody else's belief versus something, but it's all true. And we're all accepting it as true.
And the next part of the definition is to hold something as an opinion, think or suppose.
Yeah, there's a lot of gray area in there, isn't there?
Like when we talked about it last time, you have a belief until you change it, and then that's the belief. Even if you don't agree with it, it's a new belief.
Yep.
And so where do we get distracted in our beliefs and others' beliefs?
Funny you should say that. Distracted. That's what I think the ego is. Distraction.
Yeah, and we live in a society of conflicting beliefs as well.
Yeah, and people having to argue like their beliefs
Yes.
instead
Yeah.
that everyone has different beliefs and trying to understand where other people have found that belief or, like, yeah, it becomes a game of the ego, who's right and who's wrong a lot of the time. And this is a massive distraction.
And I'll add a flavor of, or a side of control.
Mm.
I feel that's why they wrote accepting something, not allowing something. It's one way of looking at it.
That's right. And allowing that one way to exist.
See, when somebody told me to accept something, I found it very difficult. It was a specific situation because I felt I was being forced into something that I didn't feel right about. But then when somebody else says, can you allow just a little bit of it? And I could do that because there's parts of the bigger picture of what they wanted me to accept. I could allow certain things that I could connect with, and that made sense, and that there was, I'm going to use the word proof, that this existed and I was comfortable with it. But the other parts I couldn't allow, and therefore I couldn't accept what they were trying to force onto me to hold or believe in.
Afternoon, Ian.
Afternoon.
Welcome.
Hi, Ian.
Hi, Ebony.
I love that, Annette. And that we can always find a way to agree, just as easy as we can find ways to disagree. Indian, what we're talking about is in beliefs, like what people believe. And we're looking like just things that have topics this morning, or what our ego says. In a way, that is our belief. Those are beliefs. And we're looking at distractions. Like, how does it distract us? Or what do we do to distract ourselves, and why? And all inside of why, and inside of exploring, believing, belief. And it's like the beliefs, what appears is our beliefs become our defaults, our automatics, what we do, and we give no thought to it. For example, I believed that I would, well, I don't know about a belief that I did not like to be around people at 10 o'clock getting ice cream. And a whole zoo of people. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I had to manage my mood with it. Oh, and that was reminding myself the purpose of why I was there. Did I fully engage with my purpose? Not at all. I was distracted with my frustration. I was distracted with other people's beliefs or controls that pointed out of what I sure do not do that they believe I should do. And all it is a U-turn. Yeah. Why didn't you turn there? Because I didn't want to wait for the light. Where are you going? I'm doing a U-turn. just seeing how that like triggered me. It's like, oh, thank you for your control. So our
That's the
beliefs.
That's the 5 second miracle, seeing what you don't want, taking 100% responsibility, deciding what you do want, and doing a U-turn and focusing on what you do want. But what's coming to me is sometimes I'm frustrated, and I think it depends on my energy level. If my energy level's really low and I'm really tired, it's like I don't take that frustration on. I just like, eventually, if you're like stuck in mud, it gets so deep that I know I can do something in the back of my head, but I'm so frustrated that part of me also doesn't want to feel better. It's happy feeling in a boo. It's getting its chemical dose of being frustrated, because obviously he's probably had a lot of that throughout his life. So he's thinking,
I would like to give a word. My word is structure. What I've been seeing and what has finally sunk in, that it's not me. What I've been seeing, that it's my structure. It's never been personal. It's never been about me. It's been my own conscious agenda, and it's been survival. And it's just been repeating what I've survived, and I've actually seen that it's not me. And I've actually been seeing all my unconscious loops or my dysfunctional behaviors. Like I've seen a loop that I'm addicted to shame, because shame is survivable to me. So there's like this loop where I'm unconsciously looking for shame, and I'm shaming myself. Like I'm just addicted to shame, and now I've seen it, I've been able to stop it because it's become conscious to me. And yeah, I can just see that it's never been me. And it's very healing, very healing. Never been personal, it's never been me.
You're changing the structure with awareness.
Gone deep. Well done. It's amazing.
And that's a definite. That's well worth separating or celebrating, because man, there's so much freedom in that. And what you're seeing right in that structure is like, oh, this is what I believed. Like this is how I believed life had to work.
I've been seeing so many loops. Like I've really been seeing myself. It's not been easy, but I've really been seeing myself. It's like I've seen a loop as well where I had an unconscious belief about being let down, and it's coming from my father, where I used to feel let down from my father. So there's an unconscious loop that people let me down. And so I've been looking everywhere and attracting people that let me down, because being let down is survivable. And because of that leap, I've been blocking love out, because I'm like, everyone lets me down, and it's what I've been attracting.
Yep. Yeah. And so then like what type of people wouldn't you let in then? And that pattern doesn't allow certain type of people in.
Just been blocking love out, and yeah.
Yep.
Not knowing what actually genuine love is. If somebody came into my life and actually like show me genuine love, I wouldn't know that it was genuine love.
So I just want to say, hi, Ian, that what I'm hearing is that this belief affected his quality of life without him even realizing he was adopting that belief because it was passed down.
as crazy. And so what Ian is seeing is he's seeing the insanity of this, the craziness of this. But when we're in it before we're aware, so we're unaware of these patterns, these loops, these beliefs, and we're just trapped in them. And we think it and we justify it, and it makes so much sense in our heads, in our ego. But when we really start to pull it apart and look at it, we say, whoa, that is crazy. That makes no sense at all. That's not what I want, and yet I keep creating it. It's not easy, is it, Ian? I mean, it's not comfortable to look at these patterns and say, oh, that's a silly one.
No, because I've been seeing loads of patterns, like not just these, I've been seeing everything.
Mhm. It's not easy because we're so used to blaming everything out there for it, judging everything else. That's at least my how I see it. Because the peers, like we can't be wrong. Again, that's just a structure as well. We have to know, we have to be in control.
I'm able to see now there's just structures, like there's a structure as well around safety and around low energy. If I feel low energy, it stops me from doing what I want to do. So it's like for safety reasons. So much to do with safety. Now I've seen it, and if I feel low energy, I'm just able to go the structure. You know, it's a structure that I'm in around safety.
Mhm. Especially when you can pinpoint it. It's like, oh, then, oh, what's going to be the most safe in this moment? Or it might not even be safety, right?
I'm addicted to low energy, and it's coming from when I was a child. I was the youngest of four kids. Um, my mum felt like a single parent because my dad was always in a pub drunk. And to help my mum out, I just didn't speak. I wasn't energetic. I didn't play. I just sat there quiet. And when I sat there quiet and didn't give my mum any additional um, challenges because she had three other kids that are really energetic, I got love. So it's like I'm addicted to low energy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it formed because I wanted to help my mum out of love because I saw how stressed she was with four kids.
Mm. That's the insanity of it. Adapting and fitting into our shaping patterns to get what we wanted, which was always around safety and love. That's where like I say, that's where the beliefs were created and reinforced.
But yeah, I've been noticing big shift, which is amazing.
Just that you can change them is amazing, isn't it? You can restructure. Oh, it doesn't have to be that way. That's crazy. I know. How do I want it?
What you're sharing, Ian, reminds me of when I had the realization about betrayal, and after contemplating so many times, going, what is the why does this happen all the time? And then I went deep, and then I realized, after questioning myself and questioning the cycles and questioning everything and everyone, and that it was actually me betraying myself in every situation. I abandoned my own heart, which allowed for that to project into my reality and invite that in. So every time I stepped out of line and didn't listen to my own heart and betrayed myself, I just invited betrayal in. And so it wasn't, well, it was other people's action, sure. However, I was creating that reality by betraying my own heart and myself. And when I realized that, everything about who I was and my values and my soul values and how I live and want to live, honoring my heart, it just all clicked into place. And I was like, well, you need to align yourself. And that's, yeah, when the real work started. And so then I was more aware that every time, if I didn't want betrayal in my life, then I needed to listen to my heart and honor that. So yeah, that I know it's different circumstances and different things, but it kind of comes back to taking that power back and seeing things in a different light and changing the structure. So yeah.
I got cut off, guys. Is it a silly question to ask what I missed?
Ebony just gave a very clear and resonating explanation about self-betrayal and not listening to her heart. Ebony, if you want to repeat part of that, that was really, really good. I wouldn't mind listening to that again.
Well, I was just following on with what Ian was sharing, which Ian can share with you, Joe. That's his discoveries, his self-discoveries. And I was just saying that it reminded me of when I had been reflecting on betrayal and why I felt betrayed, and circumstances would play out where I people would betray me, or the situations that would betray me, even though, yeah, my heart was always in everything that I did. But the point that I was trying to make that is that the betrayal that was projecting into my circumstances was coming from me betraying my own heart. And when I don't listen to my own heart, and when I betray myself, that is the standard that I set energetically. And it just projects out into the world and invites that in to my life. And so honoring my heart and staying true to that value and listening to it keeps me safe from betrayal. Really, that's what it comes down to. And when I recognize that, yeah, the only one that was creating the reality of betrayal was me by not honoring my heart to start with. And so therefore those circumstances would always unfold. And that's why it's really, really important for me to, yeah, listen to my heart and trust it. Don't betray it. Otherwise, I'll just keep inviting circumstances into my reality that reflects that.
Yeah, that resonates big time. Thanks for being awareness to such projections. That makes a lot of sense. Because the heart's feeling unheard. That's reflecting into everything else.
100%.
Yeah, or your beliefs betraying your own heart.
Yeah, going against like what you feel to be true, or what you know to be true, or is best for, it's just, yeah, you just really need to fine tune. Well, for me, I needed to just really fine tune that relationship with my heart, which is myself, and really listen to what it needs. And that creates a boundary. That creates boundaries and allows me to live through my values. And then that projects into my world and eliminates all the other stuff that was being created just naturally. It does it. It's super cool. And that's what Ian was talking about with his discoveries. He's kind of like being able to restructure as well and transmute some of the densities and things that he was holding on to. But he can, Ian, if you wanted to share that with Joe, that's for you.
Oh, Joe, I was just saying, like, I've been able to see the structures at play, and I've been able to see that was never made nothing personal. It was just my egoic agenda and the structures and play unconscious loops. And I've just been seeing a lot of my unconscious stuff. And because I've been seeing it, I've been able to change the structure, and I've just been able to see that it's nothing personal. It's never been me as a person, and it's been really transformational. Just that awareness that it's never been me. It's just wow.
Thanks for sharing, mate.
I'm rebuilding the connection with my higher self because I'm feeling a lot more connected now. So it feels nice. And because I've been seeing all these structures and I've been seeing that it was never me, it was my egoic agenda, that it's never been me, I've been able to reach a much deeper place of self-compassion. Like,
When you say it was never you, do you mean, can you explain that just a little bit for me so I can just understand how you're conceptualizing? I'm just a little bit confused.
it's with the madness of mind work, because of conscious education I've been doing. You're programmed from the age of 0 to 5, and whatever programming you get, it's like a loop. So because when I was a child, my father used to like promise that he would take us out, like he would promise that he was going to take us to the zoo, and then he would let us down, and he wouldn't call us, and we'd be standing there waiting for him to take us out, and this was a recurring thing. My unconscious mind come to the conclusion that being let down was safe and it was survivable. So because it was survivable and safe, I've been repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. Because being let down became survivable and it became safe to me, to my unconscious mind. And your unconscious mind repeats what it believes is survivable. So being let down, feeling shame has been survivable for me.
Yeah.
No matter how much it hurts, your unconscious mind will look for what's survivable, what was survivable between the ages of 0 to 5. So it's just been like a loop because it's been survivable. I've been continuously looking for shame. I've been continuously looking for people that will let me down because it's survivable for me. Because the structure's there of it being survivable.
So essentially what you've been doing and how and it's probably the same. So, but I'm just for my own brain, you've integrated those parts of yourself or that other version of self that needed your own nurturing with that higher vibrating version of yourself by becoming aware that those parts of you existed. And so they're not separate as such. They're just different parts of you formed through different experiences. And because you are integrating your higher self or higher versions of self, you're able to then nurture that version of self that had that experience and integrate the different versions. And so they're kind of, in my head, because we're not separate, everything is one. I'm seeing like a merging of these different versions of self, and you stepping into that high vibrational version of self and being able to nurture that part of yourself that didn't receive that or had that different experience, and that experience is no longer necessary in your life. Therefore, you're able to, through that self-awareness, integrate the two parts, and this is how it kind of dissolves it. So is that sort of like from a different point of view? That's how I'm understanding it.
It's just because it was an unconscious part and now it's become conscious, I can see how I can change it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. I love that. You've been doing some like really, really deep work there. Well done.
Like I'm going to give this example. I wouldn't usually, but there was a pattern of me continuously watching porn, and I couldn't stop watching porn. And what I come to realize is that because I was addicted to shame, from my childhood because shame was survival for me. Watching porn made me feel shame because I was addicted to shame. And now I've seen that I'm addicted to shame. I've been able to completely stop. And I get no urges or anything now because I see in the pattern of shame.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an example.
It's epic. And this is the great thing about that self-awareness and recognizing those emotions inside of us, or that energy inside of us that needs that the love and attention, which is obviously what you've been able to give yourself to dissolve it and integrate that higher version of self into, like both of, I think it's awesome. As you're talking now, now I can understand through my own understanding what you're saying. I think it's epic. Well done. Big hugs.
It's like with low energy. Now I've seen that low energy, I create low energy to keep me safe because it stops me putting myself out there, and it's around safety. Now when I feel low energy, I just do it anyway because I know it's structure. So I just do it regardless. I've been able to break the pattern.
Yeah. Yep. So cool.
All thanks to Jojo. If it wasn't for Joe, I wouldn't have done it because I had when Joe started his program, I had so much resistance to doing it, but because Joe let me try it for free, and I was able to see that it worked, I went on it. But if it wasn't for Joe doing that, I wouldn't have done it because I had big resistance. So thank you, Joe.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you. Listen, hearing you talk, mate, it's just it's just pure wisdom, man. You just blow my socks off, mate. You took it to your own level, man, and I'm so buzzing for you, mate. It's so much growth and like you're progressing and advancing in ways, like and going places. Do you know what I mean? Like you're taking it to yeah, you're on it, mate. Well done, man. Really should be really, really proud of yourself for what you've done, man. What you've gone through and what you're creating. It's just miraculous.
Like even that's changed. Like before, you saying well done and a validation, I would eat it up. But now when somebody gives me validation, it doesn't feel the same because I don't need it anymore. It's just a shift. I can feel a massive shift. So, yeah,
Yeah, that's huge.
thank you.
That's huge. Flipping love you, mate. We love you, man.
Love you too, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I just want to say thank you very much for the morning, Jesse. I'm going to pop off and continue on my day. You take care, and everybody else have a wonderful day or evening, whichever's approaching.
Have a blessed day, Annette.
Yeah. Take care. Bye-bye.
See you.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Annette.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to add as well, that whole exploration of self, and the way that I see like the different versions of ourselves, and recognizing that like we have these, for me anyway, so it might not resonate with anyone else, but this is how I just see things. We have these versions of self that have been like, I had this like warrior version of self that just has like absolutely run amok in Earth Realm, and just kept going through circumstances that kept cycling and repeating in different forms, and has at times made my physical body really tired, right? But then when I stopped and like actually connected with that warrior version of self, which I kept referring to as a lower version of self, right? The lowest version of self. But really, when I stopped and really connected with her, she kind of like emerged from like this, it was like the jungle, and she was carrying with her like this sword, and the sword was clean, even though she emerged from like the swamp, right? And what I saw in her was the brightest and most divine light. Like she had the strength and the absolute divine power within her, and had like been able to continue to battle on and exist and just keep fighting over and over, right? And it accumulated all this strength, and she was just, yeah, like I had to honor her for all of the things that I was getting upset about, and all of the things that I was feeling helpless about. And she kept going, and she was necessary, and her job through all of that was to show me the parts of myself that I needed to love. But I wasn't able to see it from that point of view until I connected in with other versions of myself that made it able for me to observe her and what she was actually doing, and what her job was, and what she assigned herself to, and why. And so then when I realized what her job was, I was able to merge a higher vibrating version of self that held wisdom. And so then the wisdom and the strength came together in an alignment, and things shifted because they started working together out of love for that strength and that warrior part of me that just kept going, even though it was fucking exhausting. And then the observer, or the other version of self that just held all the wisdom, they were able to work together and allow for rest when the warrior needed rest, and wisdom to come in and just really unite and create a front, and work together so that one wasn't being exhausted, and it didn't feel like a separation between wisdom and warrior. So now they work together all the time. If that makes sense.
Turning your pain into wisdom.
Mm. And loving like all the different versions of self that have played different roles, because we have different versions of self that have played different roles.
It's like bringing all parts of yourself onto the same page
Correct.
rather than being conflicting.
And separating them. Like, yes. Because I was like, well, what is wrong? Like, I was seeing this as a lower vibrational version of self. And in my head, that lower vibrational version of self wasn't as wise as, but this one was strong. And then I realized, hang on, well, they're both versions of me. So if I integrate them, then that's like a double force. So, and I've got to be appreciative of the fact for both, for different parts of myself doing different jobs.
Mm.
And when I was able to fully love those different parts of me, and then go, oh my God, they can work together and make an amazing team. Thank you for your strength. Thank you for your wisdom. All right, let's be there for each other. You know what I mean? And actually, there was a transitional period where I was literally talking to them both, and it would have sounded like a crazy person, in order to bring them together and integrate them into one. But it worked. And now they just hang out together all the time. If that makes sense. Because we all just have different parts or different characters that we play, whether it be a parent or whether it be, somebody who's at work, or whether it be, so we play these different characters, and we have underneath that these different versions of self. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if any of that made sense, but it was that was an epic journey a few months back for myself that really assisted in empowering myself and bringing myself into alignment with my values and appreciation and love, and honoring the different parts of myself that have been doing different jobs. Instead of feeling like that version of self or that warrior part of self was less than. She's been the one that has kept it all together, and is that, just the strength to keep going.
So basically what you're saying is you've been able to accept all of yourself and love yourself unconditionally.
Yeah. Yep. But pretty much, yes. Recognizing the different parts of myself that needed the love, and then brought them into alignment, appreciating and loving every aspect. And understanding why it was necessary for me to feel such things as shame and guilt and pain and all the rest of it, all the things that aren't of love, so that I could bring love to those parts. And so she's a trooper. She's epic, full honor. And each of us have a version of self that has gone through those cycles and is the warrior in us, trying to get our attention and show us where we need to bring that love and that integration of you know, so just a moment to honor each of our warriors in us all, because earth realm can be very challenging.
I've been feeling the same. I've been able to, yeah, do the same. Accept all the parts of me and just love myself and feel compassion.
Yeah. It's so cool. That's why, yeah, that's what it reminded me of. That's what made me think about it. That's what I'm sensing from what you're saying. Like, and when I say well done, I'm saying well done because I see, I understand the journey inwards to integrate all those parts of self, and also the pathways that you're creating for others to integrate. Like, that's what you're doing essentially, because we all operate as a collective in some ways. So by you going through those parts of self and journeying and then coming back out the other side, like, thank you, because it's not just, you know, like you are serving through your actions and your commitment to self and honor to your heart. And yeah, so that's what the well done is for, and a big thank you.
Thank you for the light language, the activation, because yeah, it really gave me some insight. The light body activation, so thank you.
It's all you. It's all you. You've done the work. And so thank you.
Your light body activation showed me that I actually am doing what I'm meant to be doing, because when you basically said when I start to love myself, I'm the leader of self-love, and it's going to activate more love in the collective energetically. It was like, yeah, I am just working on myself is enough. So thank you.
I was just passing on the messages.
Yeah, I remember, Ian, that's basically how we found your inner shaman that day. It was by giving some credit for that part of you that kept you in the game.
I don't even recognize that version of myself that did that from last year. It's like, it seems like a different lifetime. Crazy.
Yeah, it's probably because it's all integrated. From being cared for.
And I've noticed it with my feelings as well, like before, when I would feel like negative emotion, really deep emotion, it would really like get to me and I would really like collapse with with the emotions, like the negative emotions. But now when I feel negative emotions, I'm able to stay neutral and it doesn't affect me anymore. Like I feel it, but it doesn't get to that level where I'm staying in bed all day because I'm feeling negative emotion. I'm able to feel more neutral now. And it doesn't take away from the happiness. I feel it, but it doesn't take away from the happiness. Hard to explain. So yeah, it feels different.
Hmm. Processed. The processing sounds like you've processed like to completion. Process the emotion that was in like your energetic system. So then when it has completed its process, it doesn't have an effect on us like it used to. Now happiness outweighs the any kind of like what could have been triggers. It's so cool.
We're all sharing and doing what we love, and we're all rising together.
I think the biggest thing for me that has been the shift is not taking things personally. And just knowing that it's not me. It's never been me. And knowing that there's nothing I can do to be more or less worthy. We're all worthy. We're all one, but all one consciousness. I can be sitting at home watching TV, or I can be on stage teaching millions of people. It doesn't make you any more or less worthy. We're all worthy. There's nothing I can do to be more or less worthy. There's nothing I can do to be more or less enough. Being alive means I'm enough because I wouldn't be here otherwise. That's been the biggest shift for me.
I love that. That's such a true statement. That's a statement there. You need to write that down. Make that a meme. That's awesome.
It's like when I went to Lanzarote, I did get a few negative comments, like someone said anorexic and someone said I'm a druggie, I look like a druggie. But it didn't bother me. It was just like, I could see that for someone to comment that, they must be in so much pain and they must really dislike themselves. And it bounced off me. It didn't touch me because I know it's nothing to do with me. I know they're just in pain and they're projecting that pain onto me. So it just bounced off me and I was like, oh, well, it didn't touch me. Feels really powerful. But I feel like I created them people saying their negative comments so I could see how far that I've come. So that's why I created it. To actually see the growth and to see how far that I've come. So that's why I created them negative comments when I was away.
Wow.
Because I created it myself. So.
Oh my days. That's deep. That's some people go lifetimes without having that realization. And such realizations, and then you notice that's bringing 100% responsibility into your hands. You're being at cause, not at effect. Stood in your power, man. Big up.
Yeah, it's a major skill. The ability to be unaffected.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Like, to not be affected by outside, like, that's when, yeah, and the funny thing is, like, as soon as you think you have got it, some trigger comes out of left field, is like, hey.
Challenge time.
It's amazing. And that's it, but we're creating it ourselves. So that's why it keeps coming in. Oh my days.
But I think as well as because fear of judgment has gone. So I wasn't bothered. Like on this call when I said about continuously watching porn because of shame. Before I would have been scared of judgment, but now it's like, oh well, if you judge me, I'm not really bothered. It's just I'm not that fear of judgment's gone.
That's freedom.
Yeah.
That's the prison most people live in, the fear of what other people think. And that's the prison without the barbells. But you've freed yourself off that prison. Wow.
It comes up every now and again, but I notice it straight away and I'm able to shift it. I like, whoa, I notice it straight away. Whereas before I wouldn't notice it.
Mm. So that's these things happening in my head where I'm actually seeing really the relativity of the cycle, right? So when we're processing things and things are leaving our body, if it's been sort of imprinted or wired into us, whilst we become self-aware, and then any kind of emotion that is attached to, say, the shame that you were talking about, and then we start overcoming it. Now, because the energy is still in us, it will create old patterns, right? And those old patterns, as they're leaving, like, will present to us like the triggers, the things that would usually trigger us. But the more we don't respond and give it any energy, the more it processes and just leaves. It actually leaves like that energy like system, or we rise above that that wiring. So the more we get triggered by it, and the more we feed into the energy, the more we kind of like stay in that field, and it starts again. Like the whole loop starts again. But if we don't pay any attention to it and we allow for it to process, because we've become aware of that trigger, we understand where it's coming from, and we just let it go, and we start looking at things differently, and it just eventually it doesn't affect us at all. That it just processes out of it or out of us, or we just create a new cycle that we're wired on, so it's not effective. Sorry, my
I feel
brain.
it's just a realization that it's nothing to do with me, it's nothing to do. If somebody says something or does something, nothing to do with me, it's how they feel about themselves. It's not taking it personally thing has changed. Because I know it's nothing to do with me. As a person, it's nothing to do with me.
When we realize that everyone is just projecting, really, it becomes easier to move through the world as an observer.
But then everyone's projecting, but then we're also creating that projection.
Yeah. And so the more energy that we put into it, because it's all parts of ourselves. And so we get to choose what energy we put into what. And through the energy that we put into it, we create the circumstances. And so the more we don't put in the energy, the more it just dissipates, and we start seeing things that are more in alignment to like our true self. It's all part of the journey.
And then I see it as a blessing when it comes up, because it's come up to be given awareness and love, and it's not come up to be like punishing me, but it's come up to be like let go of.
Yeah.
With love.
Yeah.
It's like
the chance to hug
when
it
I
and
went
give.
on holiday. Sorry.
Go on, bro.
I was just gonna say, like when I was on holiday and I got them projections, it was like my higher self created it, so I could see how far that I've come to see if it would affect you or not. So I created it to see how far that I've come, because how would I know how far I've come if I didn't create that?
Yes. And you're observing it, and then you can feel gratitude for yourself for the work that like has gone into getting yourself to where you are. And so that amplifies in the new cycle as well. The gratitude.
I felt compassion as well, because there was a mum, a dad, a kid about 15, and there was like a 5-year-old, I think it was a son. And then when I walked past, they said anorexic, and they all looked at me, and I just smiled and said, and I just smiled. It didn't bother me. But then I felt so much compassion for the 5-year-old, because like their conditioning, that 5-year-old, that bullying's all right, comment and negative is all right, and I just felt so much compassion for a little boy that is getting that conditioning. Because they're showing his subconscious mind that it's okay to comment, it's okay to put others down. And I just felt compassion for the little boy. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But then, like, also that other boy at 5, that's the thing with the kids, they just say what they think. So, like, he might even not necessarily know, like, either that's offensive or that might have just been,
Oh no, it wasn't a 5-year-old who said it, it was the adult that said it, but the little boy was
oh my,
listening.
wow, oh my days, okay.
So
But yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying
it.
is because the parent said it, he's training a little boy that it's okay to say stuff like that. So I just felt compassion for the little boy because he is going to grow up thinking that it's okay to comment on people. If that makes
Mm,
sense.
yeah. And this is it. It's all a energetic power struggle. You know, people try to take energy, you know, put others down to get energy, but it's just all of a lack of that internal connection to the infinite supply of love. You know, that's there waiting to be tapped in by all of us. But without that supply, this is how people get by. Energetics. And but also that kid, that's it when he gets conditioned in, but then still they got that connection to the heart and what is right, you know? And like that could even flip it, you know, like just because I didn't see my dad much when I was growing up, I've flipped it so I see my kids as much as possible, you know? So just because he's doing that, that kid could flip it, you know, and be like, nah, that don't feel right. Like he's a nice guy, he's smiling, he's happy, you know. But then also like we can't take it personally, but then also taking it back to us creating everything, even creating that circumstance for like you to say, to see how you've grown, to be able to see that you didn't get that emotional reaction of like, how dare you say that? You know, it's like so that circumstance, although it was like whatever, however it made you feel, also it showed that you're still at cause, you know? You're at cause, not being affected by it. So it's flipping huge, man. Because I still do, I still big time will get affected by flipping judgments and flipping well take it on board. Do you know what I mean? So thanks for flipping bringing this up because yeah, it's just having that reminder, you know. And this year, this is serving as a big, awesome, amazing reminder. So thank you.
I'm not saying like it's 100%, like, but I think the difference now is if I do feel something, I notice it straight away and I ask myself, why am I feeling that? And then I look within. Instead of saying, it's your fault, you made me feel like this, you said that comment, you know.
Mm, yeah, it's good to have the option, you know, rather than just default like whatever we've been given. It's not my fault. It's your fault. It's like okay, well,
And
this
then playing victim, like, oh, people are commenting, and then playing victim, like, that's gone.
oh yes, the victor is
And then
here.
and then I'd want sympathy, and I was like, oh, no.
Yeah, I'm driving now, Ian. Yes, I come down and see you if you want, bro.
Yeah, I could do a recode on you. I'm going to learn next week, so. And I do want to do the certification, so it's in the pipework. It's in the pipeline.
Happy days. What have you got access to already?
I'm on masterclass, mastery class. I moved up a notch, so I'm on mastery now. with teachers' intuition, teachers recode, and implementation sessions where you can implement your shadow. So I moved up a notch. I've gone on a higher program.
Oh, yes. Ian's in the house. I did a super conscious recode on you. Now you gonna do one on me.
I like how your internal shifts are reflecting in your reality, Ian. Shifting up, shifting into different realms.
I think the student is becoming the master.
Sounds like it.
It is a lot of work though, but it's worth it.
Have you got access to my BSC app, Ian?
I think so. I haven't been on it for a while. But yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'll message you about that because when I used to go through that training, I'd also be listening to something else, and it was just like a lethal combo. Do you know what I mean? It was like left, right, left, right. Do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, message me about that, man. I'll make sure you get into there because, yeah.
I've listened to Ebony's one, the chakra meditation that's on your app. I did listen to that one. It was nice. Thank you, Ebony.
That needs an update. That was like one of my first like ones. So we need to update that. I didn't realize it was still on there. But you're welcome.
Yeah, if you want Ian, man, you can have a section in there, bro. Do you know what I mean? Ian's crew coming through. What are you gonna do?
I'll be hitting you up for a recode for sure.
I feel like I don't feel I'm quite there yet because in order for me to do it, I want to do the inner work myself first. I don't want to be one of these people that like do it but haven't done the inner work myself. So yeah, I'm doing the inner work myself first.
Yeah. Well, when you're ready, let us know.
You know, like these teachers that like spout all this stuff but they haven't done it themselves. I want to be the opposite, so I'm doing the inner work myself first. I'm reaching that level myself first. But yeah, I think in the next 4 or 5 months I'll be there.
Yeah, beautiful.
Nah, I reckon he'll be there next week. I reckon he could pop it off right now.
Has anyone heard of Christian DeMarco? He's like a sound journey person. He plays all these different wind instruments, and the instruments are all from like all around the world. And it's kind of like on Friday night, I went to he did a sound journey, and I've been to one other that wasn't done by him. This one was epic. Like, because I didn't get the full journey of the first one, like last year, this one, I wasn't expecting what happened. And he pulled out all these beautiful instruments. One of the last wind instruments was like a flute thing, but it was from Jesus times and had like 2 reeds on it. It sounded amazing. And he had these massive didgeridoos that had like I'm talking massive. They had like this big, it looked like a big flute thing, but it had like an expanded end on it. So it was like a big foghorn thing. It was so bizarre. And they sounded amazing. And he was walking around the room and blasting like people's just, well, I thought he was blasting my chakras, but yeah. So, and yeah, epic journey. I saw like past lives. There was all these faces, the portal to in the earth where the dragons were all like, all the dragons were released, the final release, like the massive portal opened up. There was this massive crack in the earth, and we all did this thing where like we were standing on either side of this crack, people on either side, and this triangle was formed. There was like a heart beam from one side. I was on one side, and then it went to the other person on the other side. And then as soon as this green thing, like from our hearts connected, this triangle over the crack, like formed over our head, this golden, like, yeah, to form the triangle. I'm not sure if you're following me, but then this massive dragon came out of the crack. And then I started feeling really overwhelmed and like, oh my gosh, like what is happening? And before you knew it, like all the different dragons that had been stuck in the portal, like, and being stuck down below for forever, like just started emerging. And then there was a portal so this happened in Earth Realm. They were released into Earth Realm. There was a portal that opened up that led beyond Earth Realm, but then yeah, they all just started flying free. So what I got from it was that the dragons are now all free, because there was some that still weren't released from when they got stuck, but they're all out. They're all out, and they can go anywhere they want. It was pretty cool. It was very unexpected as well. These things catch me off guard because I don't know. And then this galactic lady that I haven't spoken to for, must be like a good 18 months. She came through, and she's like this being. When she first came through ages ago, she's like, she reminded me of like a lizard, because she was like this green lizard, but she was like wearing a cape, and her cape was like, it was like a frilled neck lizard, but she was really beautiful, and she spoke really eloquently, and she had like this regalness about her, and she came with this message. Yeah, it was, and the message was just beautiful as well. But anyway, if you haven't done a sound journey, go and try it if you feel inclined, because I was not expecting any of the things that came out of it to happen. And I was like, full journey. It was 2 hours, but it felt like not long, but it was longer. It was amazing. Has anyone else experienced those sound journeys?
Not like that. That sounds cool.
Joe, it was seriously, I went down with I took my mum with me, and yeah, I just left. I couldn't even talk properly afterwards. I was so like in this space where I was just like reflecting on all the different faces and lifetimes, and yeah, mum had a bit of a thing as well. And she doesn't usually experience things, but she was, yeah, sort of got a message from it as well. It was so cool. So it makes a difference, I think. But you know what I felt, the love that came out of the musical instruments was felt. Like you could feel this guy's soul coming through the sounds. And that's what was hitting like everyone in the room. It was this really bizarre feeling, like you could feel it coming. You could feel his love for the instruments and the music coming out, and you could sense that. And it was really elevating, and he was like totally into what he was doing. And so it was just, yeah, I think that makes a difference. You can really feel some people's soul through the music. as we know from you, Joe. So yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, after hearing this about the bells and the flutes and the whistles, these sounds, I'm really keen on getting very high quality sounds added to the music that I create when I make a song. But like bells and like chiming forks, like at whatever frequency, like really high quality, combined with nuggets of gold. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Just so much can be said through vibrations. You just feel them. If the right person is directing those, and it's coming from their heart. Yeah, do it. Do it.
I want to ask you a question, Joe. Are you going to contest on the show?
Not planned on yet. I'm not too sure if I'm.
I was going to say, if you're going, because it's in Wales, isn't it? North Wales, would you be able to give me a lift? I'll give you petrol money, like.
Yeah,
Because
if
it'll
I
be on the
go,
way, won't it? So,
yeah, for sure, man, for sure. If I'm going to there or anywhere else, I'll let you know, man.
like, I've always wanted to go, but I haven't been able to get there, so, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, man. We'll be doing his own events hopefully as well.
Yeah, I went to my first festival last June. Mark gave me a lift. No, you met Mark.
Yeah.
He gave me a lift there. So, yeah.
You're in Liverpool, yeah?
St. Helens. I think it's on the way anyway, because it's in North Wales, isn't it? So we'll be on the way. And I'll give you petrol money and stuff. So, yeah.
Mm,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys for today's call.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah.
Thanks for the
Yeah, thank you all.
Big love,
Have a great
Heinz.
day.
Love, Craig, Jess, Ian, Ebony.
Lots of
Sending
love.
Should we tune into? Should we imagine like we're all in a circle together, holding hands, and like I don't know, the word that's coming to me is authenticity. So it's like a fire of authenticity, and we're looking at it, and it's growing, it's expanding, and it's flowing into all parts of us and all areas of his life. Just breathing together, smiling, relaxing. Let out a giggle if you want. Just seeing that fire grow, expand, the energy, and then just expands all around the world, the cosmos. Just tuning in, consciously tuning into that frequency of authenticity. Choosing authenticity through the portal of our heart. Choosing it, being it, and just see what you look like. Who are you when you're truly there? Even more and more. What's different? Choosing love.
Freedom comes to mind. All I can see is like us all like dancing around a bonfire. I just end up dancing, and it feels good. So thank you.
Thank you. We dancing. Woo!
Yeah.
You guys. Do you want to hear one of my latest musical creations I did last night?
Sounds good. Show us what.
Let me just flick the switch. I'll give you a little show, yeah? Oh, yeah, it's showtime. Can you see me?
Yeah. Smile. Let's go. Started.
There we go. There we go. Hello. 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 Right then.
Okay, let's do this. Wait, I think this is. Yeah, okay, let's just go with it. What's this here? Oh! Pop! People all over, don't stop. Whoa! Whoa! That's right, time gotta go. Right, but that's not the one I'm showing. It's this one. Okay, come on, let's go. Is this it? Yeah. You got me, you got soul. Now it's time we got to go. Come on, let's go. Somebody everywhere. Oh. Breathing on us, letting out. You got the love, so come on, let it out. Right, but that's one, and then come on, let's do this. Yo, it's the happy call. It's the happy call. Yo, we're choosing to authenticity. Got the key, got the remedy. Stand up now. Do you want to set the planet free? Talking to your heart, now we're talking to your soul. That's right, Bell's gonna go for the goal. Got the key, got the potion. Stand up, people put the heart into motion. Where we're going now, going back to the ocean. Tell me what you're talking about, revolution. Oh! Okay, talking evolution. That's right, yeah, you know that we're schooling. What you choosing, what you proving. That's right, yeah, you know that we cruising to the higher self, moving through the space and time, jumping like a DeLorean with futuristic rhyme. Morning on crime, now we can understand, now we got to shine. Realign, now we intertwine. That's right, recognize you're divine. Energetic consciousness, infinite potential, gonna be synonymous. It's the next quality to be free. Resonate with the love, with the G. Yeah, one energetic consciousness, infinite potential, gonna be synonymous. It's the next quality to be free. Resonate with the love, with the G. We are one energetic consciousness, infinite potential, gonna be synonymous. It's the next quality to be free. Resonate one energetic G. Woo! Let's go!
Woo! Thank you for sharing.
Bit chaotic, but you know, that's how we roll.
Before we head off, can I do a meditation? Because I'm practicing my meditation skills. It's going to be the first one that I've done, but yeah.
Oh yes, come on,
I
it's
want
Sarah.
to do the innocence meditation. Okay?
Yes, please.
So close your eyes. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths in and out. In and out. In and out. And imagine yourself in a forest. It's a beautiful forest. Beautiful trees. Beautiful leaves. Birds singing. Squirrels running around. Open your heart and connect to the beauty of this forest. There's butterflies flying around, birds singing. You're walking along this forest path, taking in the beauty of nature. Your heart is expanding more and more. Your heart is opening more and more. And you see a fork in the road. And you decide to take the left path. walking deeper and deeper into the forest, taking in the beauty of the forest. You come to a clearing. You walk through this beautiful clearing and you see a field of lavender flowers, purple everywhere. You walk through this field of purple flowers. What do you smell? What do you see? What do you taste? This field of beautiful purple flowers all around you. In the distance, all you can see is a field of purple lavender flowers. You're walking through this field, you feel so grounded, so connected to the beauty of these purple flowers. And on the horizon, you see a building, a sacred building. Maybe it's a pyramid, maybe it's a church, maybe it's a one-room schoolhouse. But you see a building on the horizon and you feel drawn to this building. You walk up to the building and a portal opens. You walk through the portal and you enter a sacred room. You can feel the energy of this room, the sacredness of this room. And as you're walking through this room, you see a crib. You walk up to this crib and you see a baby in the crib. Look into the baby's eyes, connect to the baby's heart. Feel the innocence of this baby, the purity, the innocence. You have no past. Connect to the baby's heart, connect to the innocence. And the next obvious action step is to become the baby. So you transform and you become the baby. Imagine seeing everything for the first time. You've never seen it before. You see your hand for the first time. You see your foot for the first time. Everything's magical. You're seeing everything for the first time in pure innocence. And then the ground opens up and you fall into a purple void. Falling and falling into this purple void. There's purple all around you. Deeper and deeper, you fall into a purple void. And above you, there are stars all around you, the night sky. You look at the stars. Imagine seeing stars for the very first time and wonder. Falling deeper and deeper into this purple void. Deeper and deeper. And you slowly come to a stop. And you fall back into your body. Now open your eyes and imagine seeing everything for the first time in pure innocence. Look around your room in pure innocence, connected to your heart. Seeing everything for the first time in pure innocence. What does it feel like seeing stuff for the first time? Seeing everything for the first time in pure innocence.
I feel happy.
Since I still don't see anything, I'm feeling wondrous and new. Feel it.
I feel peaceful.
I feel like there is no past because I'm seeing everything for the first time.
Mm. I'm feeling blessed to have gone through that
Yeah,
meditation.
that's the first time I've ever done it. So yeah,
Yeah, that was
thank
all
you.
my days. Like, I'm just in like, yo, that was so powerful. Like, so effortless. So flowing.
Thank you, Ian.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ebony. Thank you, Ian. Great work. Joe, thank you. Heinz. Until next time.
Thanks for
What a great
wonderful.
end.
Yeah.
Love and
Keeping
hugs.
Much love.
innocence with us today.
Big love, guys. Salute. Mwah.
Mwah.
Bye all.
Much
Bye.
love.
Bye.